Good afternoon and welcome back to CityLine. With me, I have Carol Wolfe. She is the Division Manager for Tacoma Community and Economic Development. And Carol is here to talk with us about a very important topic that's on all of our hearts and minds, and that is the COVID-19 business resources. Hello, Carol, and thank you so much for taking time out of your critical schedule right now.
Good afternoon, Amanda. It is really good to see you again. I haven't seen you in a while, so it's good to see you today, even if across the Zoom screen.
That's right. I've invited you into my house several times, but now we have finally made it happen. We can say we visited each other's homes.
That's correct.
Carol, the coronavirus outbreak, it's hit everyone hard, especially our small businesses. What is the city of Tacoma currently doing to assist small businesses during this COVID-19 crisis?
Amanda, thank you for asking that question, and thank you so much for allowing me to come on and represent a true team effort and an all hands on deck approach that the city of Tacoma and our partners are taking right now. Currently, our entire department is using all of its resources and all of its creativity to find ways that we can bring existing resources, which includes information and summarizing the huge amount of information that everybody is getting right now about unemployment, resources for businesses, things to do. So we are combining that information and we're bringing it together on a website called makeittacoma.com. We have a COVID-19 tab we have launched. It has all of the resources, be it federal, state, and local. But at the same time, what we can directly control, we've repurposed some of our funds so that we can have a stabilization loan fund that we're actually going to launch tomorrow morning. So I'm glad to be here tonight to share some of that with you. It is a small business stabilization loan fund. It will be eligible for small businesses that have 10 or fewer employees, that are brick and mortar, which mean they're in a business, they're in a building, they're here in the city of Tacoma, and they've been in operation for a year. And we've picked that type of business because we recognize they're the most vulnerable right now. And often the true mom and pop business doesn't really have the capacity to address 1 and 2 month cash flow shortage like they're having right now. And oftentimes they're employing 1 or 2 or 3 people, and it's an entire family household income. So we recognize that. So we're standing up this emergency stabilization loan. It'll be available to people to apply for tomorrow. They can access that by going to makeittacoma.com. We have a COVID-19 tab at the top to try to make it very simple. The application will be on there. We have it translated into 5 different languages, and that will be the beginning process. That's one of the main things that we're doing. Another thing we're doing that's really important is all of our staff is trying to learn as much as we can about the federal and the state programs so that when our already tired and anxious business and property owners call us because they have relationships or they know that their local government is an easy phone call away, we try to be no wrong door so that we can get them to the right resource right away. And as well as some people in our office are trying to learn how to assist with some of the small business assistance loan programs so that we can help them link to that, as well as maybe provide some assistance as they apply for those loans.
Carol, who are some of the partners you're working with to address this crisis besides the amazing team at the City of Tacoma?
Well, first and foremost, I really thank you again for that question. That's another important one because the work that we have in front of us, there is not one department, one leader, one agency that can do. So we are very fortunate in that Mayor Woodards and our city manager and then our director in our department are very collaborative as well as very compassionate. And so they've instructed us that compassion and efficiency is like our number one goal. How do we do this with compassion, but also as efficiently as possible so we can reduce the amount of anxiety? So with that, we've brought our partners in. So the Chamber of Commerce is a huge partner right now. They have 3 times a week, they have conference calls and webinars, and they bring different business providers together to speak directly to up to 600, sometimes close to 1,000 businesses at a time to share information and answer questions. The Economic Development Board has been very effective as well. They're co-sponsoring these webinars. They also help us understand some of the state resources. They're also a very good conduit that help get us to places like Workforce Central, because a lot of the issues, a lot of our small businesses and large businesses really care about their employees. So knowing about some of the unemployment insurance and ways to get people furloughed and back on as quickly as possible, Workforce Central is a partner. Pierce County's been a partner. They yesterday stood up their emergency loan fund that's similar to ours with a $10,000 cap. They stood that up and it's offered yesterday for unincorporated Pierce County. We stay in contact with them. And then a lot of our partners in the nonprofit sector and our community stakeholders, be it Spaceworks, our neighborhood business district leaders, our cross-district leaders, they're all helping us understand where the pain is and what they think we can do to help.
Carol, before I ask you about the specific requirements for the COVID-19 Stabilization Loan Fund, what are you hearing from our local business community at this time?
Amanda, that's probably the hardest part of this job. Myself, I've been at the city now 21 years, and a lot of the people that I've worked with have been there either for a few years or even if they've just started, but we're relationship based. So a lot of us know these business owners and we know these partners, and there's a huge love for Tacoma and what it means. So I just say that to go that for all of us, this is, it's very personal as well as a professional commitment we have to do what we can. So we're hearing things like, boy, just the other day, how can you help us get cash immediately, right? I think some businesses know that maybe their bank or through the SBA, they might have some long-term solutions, but they're looking for short-term. A lot of small businesses don't really have a lot of cash flow in the bank. They're asking us to help with what we can help them do for their employees. It's heartbreaking to a lot of these small businesses. So that's why we're trying to stay on top of and help direct them to unemployment insurance. Sometimes they're asking for access to grants and things of that nature, which can be hard because in the commercial community, oftentimes a grant isn't a possibility. That generally is a resource for the nonprofit community. They're asking us to help them get information as quickly as possible because there's so much coming at people right now. You have the governor, you have the feds, you have the health department. And so oftentimes we try to help them get to the right information. But what we can tell you in terms of actually business activity, their heart and soul is there. They're looking for ways that they can support their employees. They're looking for ways that they can do delivery and takeout. A lot of our employees are looking for ways that we can try to help promote. It's a little hard for us, the city. We're trying to look for ways where we can promote individual businesses and how they're doing delivery or unique ways. But we try to connect people to that. And but to tell you the truth, what we're hearing is they're afraid. And so we want people to support them. They're afraid that the future's uncertain and it brings a lot of fear to them.
And rightly so. I mean, for all of us that live in this very tight-knit community, to see the businesses that we've grown up with, much like the businesses, Carol, that you have helped open and have also been a guest at. It's so hard to drive by and to think, how are they doing and are they going to make it? I had a great conversation with Mike from Stadium Thriftway yesterday. I'm in there every single day, and he is paying his employees $2.50 more an hour because of the hazard pay and the conditions that they have to work in. So yes, they are all afraid. And on that note, I want to find out from you in our last few minutes here, we've got about 4 or 5 minutes left. If you do not qualify for the requirements for the COVID-19 stabilization loan, what should our businesses do?
Okay, so first, I did want to say there's a couple of other resources available. So we do know our utility company is deferring payments on some utilities, and also there is a deferment on B&O tax. So
yes,
you need to contact our tax and license department and reach out to them, and it's taxinfo@cityoftacoma.org, and they will work with you to defer some of your B&O taxes and help you with some of the larger state and even Department of Revenue relationships. And I apologize again. So if they don't access our COVID-19 Stabilization Loan Fund, still call us, because we can be a nexus to the SBA loans. We are also staying on top of if we have any additional federal or state funds that can come to us in terms of deferments, loan funds. If there will be some type of granting capacity, we will probably find out sooner rather than later any type of banking easing up they would do, so that people who couldn't maybe pay their commercial leases or commercial mortgages, we're waiting to find that out through some of the federal package that was passed yesterday. So I would say still call us and let us know what your issue is, to see if there is a way that we can connect you with the right resource. But the Small Business Administration is definitely a resource for them. And through our Minority and Business Development Agency, we have staff that are willing to help connect you to that resource and help connect you to fill out the applications for those funding sources.
I have to tell you, I already feel calmer just listening to you. The website, Carol, makeitTacoma.com, offers some valuable resources. How long has that been up and running?
So makeitTacoma.com has been up for a long time. As of tomorrow, we're hoping for 9 a.m., we should have our COVID-19 Stabilization Loan Fund. But already today, if you were to go there, and that has been up since I believe about March 16th, March 17th, when we knew some of the emergency declarations were coming, there is a tab and it has multiple resources, be it health and wellness, business resiliency, employee and employer, as well as financing options. So we've set it up to be very easily navigated by people. So COVID-19, the tab at the top of makeitTacoma.com.
All right. So in these last 4 minutes, I want to talk about two more things. I want to talk about the criteria you mentioned businesses need to have been in business more than a year, and they need to be brick and mortar and have, I believe you said, a team of 10 or less. What else do we need to tell our businesses to get them to reach out and take this help?
I think what I would tell them is, please reach out to us. We have COVID-19 Loan at cityoftacoma.org is a website if there was questions that you had, but I would just go right to makeitTacoma.com. We have an intake that right away asks very simple questions. We will let you know within 2 business days if you're eligible or not. If you're not, we're going to try to work with you to get you to another resource. We're committed to, once we receive an application, our first review of all applicants will be by April 3rd. So we need a little time to have them get in and staff up, but to get back to people within 7 business days to know if they've approved, and then get them a check within 24 to 48 hours after that. So that is some of the criteria. I would say just be honest. Talk about your challenges, be clear about what you need the money for. This money is primarily for what we call working capital, things that you have to pay or your business will shut. So your lease payments, your payroll, the things that are fairly fixed and don't go away regardless, those are the things that we're looking to cover with this maximum $15,000 loan.
Oh, those are great examples. Thank you. Thank you so much for encouraging our business owners in a time where I think many of them just want to curl up in a ball and go to sleep and hope to wake up and all of this will be over with. This is becoming the new normal. And you said it so beautifully in terms of how we are all learning so much new information in terms of federal statutes. We're learning new technological ways to communicate, like you and I zooming each other right now. So you have just provided a beautiful picture for us. And lastly, I want to ask you, and as you listen to feedback from these businesses and you and your team come together, if there's one thing from your heart and one message you want to give to our local businesses during this difficult time, what would it be, Carol?
I would say tip well.
Yeah.
One time when above 20% for whatever service you get, if you can afford it, it's time to tip well and to let them know that you will support them when this is over, even if you can't support them today.
I love that. Boy, what a beautiful message. And I would add to that, you know, do the takeout, buy gift certs. I
Yes.
know that our former food critic, Sue Kidd from the Tacoma News Tribune, has a beautiful Facebook page called Dining Out in Pierce County. And
Yeah.
she has over 400 businesses that will either deliver to your home or do no touch pickup. So it's up to all of us to take that latte factor and to spread it amongst our businesses, don't you think?
Yes, and I would like to say that this is the one time where social media is really pulling its weight. I mean, normally a lot of us complain politics and too many pictures of people's kids, whatnot. But right now, social media is where people are combining really useful information. And I am just really, as a mother of a parent of a child who's out of school right now, the resources that are there to how to have homeschool. I'm not a homeschool teacher, so the resources, but also, like you said, where to go, what are they doing, the no touch, who might be hurting more now that you might want to do your takeout today and then tomorrow maybe do your takeout somewhere else. There's just excellent information on social media right now because Tacoma, we are gritty and we're pretty and we care, and it is a good time to be in Tacoma. We will get through this together.
We will, and it may be social distancing,
Yes.
but it's not emotional or
Correct.
spiritual distancing. And on that note, Carol, I just want to say thank you so much for all the work that you have done and for the people behind you that we couldn't get into your spare room to
Yes.
fit on the Zoom camera. I know that you are probably working a good 10 to 15 hours because you care so much about our community. So thank you so much. And I want you back in my spare bedroom sooner than later, okay?
Yes. Yeah, we'd love to come back, and thank you so much for the opportunity to get the word out. It's really important.
My pleasure. We'll be right back right after this quick break with more CityLine.